Hi, so quick backstory if you don't know, I was an egg donor for my best friends, Erik and Adam. They have two beautiful twin girls that are like 2.5, almost 3 years old. And a couple months ago, I moved in with them because they took me in when I needed help, and I lasted maybe like 6 weeks there before it just like destroyed our friendship. And I'm just gonna talk a little bit about that because they both released a video about us and what happened, but they didn't get into super detailed of like what actually really happened, so I thought I would just go in and tell you a little bit about my side of the story and like how I viewed it. So first I want to say Erik and Adam are the greatest people in the world. They are the kindest people. They took me in when I really needed help, and you know, a lot of friends wouldn't do that for people. So thank you, Erik and Adam. Like, I really appreciate everything you've done for me, if I haven't said it enough or cried about it enough. So there's basically there was a lot of things that went wrong. There's two reasons why me living with them didn't work out and ended up horrible. One is because I was super depressed. And two is that we didn't make boundaries clear. Right. So touching on the first one, me being depressed and why that ruined things was because like usually when I go to Erik and Adam, I visit them every couple of months, and when I go there, it's all fun. It's all focused on like how much time we can spend together and, you know, what we can do for fun, and we just always have like a really great time because we're really good friends. And this time I was driving to them because I lost my apartment, which meant I had no place for my cat, so I had to give my cat away to my parents, which is across the country. I lost everything I owned. I only took with me what I could fit in my car. My boyfriend was back in LA. Like, I literally lost my whole community of climbing. Like, I climb a lot, and I lost absolutely everything. So me just driving there, I'm already like broken. So I was not in the best headspace at that point. I also had $0 to my name. I'm homeless. I'm literally going to Erik and Adam because I'm homeless and I needed help. All of this is because I'm trying to start my own business. So you can imagine that affects your like mental status. And I took all of that negative energy and I brought it to them. And yeah, like after like the first week of us like, yay, fun, we can do whatever we want, and then, you know, you realize you have like responsibilities, and like reality hits you that you're homeless and you don't have like anything that you're used to. I started to get really irritable, and I took it out mostly on Adam. I mean, I'm sure I took it out on Erik too, but mostly on Adam because he was home all the time. And it was just me and him home. Erik was always at work. He works 9 to 5. I just wasn't me. I was mean. I was not, I just wasn't tolerable. Like, everything just irritated me, and I needed like space all the time because I was just really upset. Like, I was not in a good headspace. And just that first week, I think, ruined it for Adam. And then he started treating me differently, which spiraled into like, it just like nonstop back and forth of all of us like being uncomfortable with this situation. So that's that part of things. And then number two was like, we didn't set any boundaries. We were just like, oh, let's move in together and just have fun all the time, do whatever. I think Erik and Adam did get upset with me because I wasn't spending a lot of time with them at some point. And it was because like, when you're living in someone else's space, you want to give them space. Like, I don't want them to look everywhere like they turn around and I'm there all the time. Like, that's like, I wouldn't want that for myself if I had someone living with me. Like, I would want my own space. So like, I just figured, oh, I want to give them family time. Like, if they're outside playing with the girls, I wouldn't go out there. If they were you know, watching TV with them, like, I didn't want to ruin that family time. I didn't want to ruin them building a family bond. Like, I didn't want to interfere with their dynamics. And I think that really upset them because I wasn't communicative about that. Like, I didn't tell them that that's what I was doing. I was just being really distant. I would like lock myself in the office and like not do stuff with them, but it was because it was out of fear of overstepping boundaries. And they thought it was because like I didn't want to be around them, but it was like completely the opposite. It was like I wanted to be around them, but I just didn't want to overstep any boundaries. So that was like a huge part of things, and it just made it clear that like we didn't understand the dynamics of the situation, and we should have been a lot more communicative before this even started. And it had nothing to do with like, I mean, a little bit to do with Addison calling me mommy, but like the girls and me relationship is great. I'll always love them. It was nothing along the lines of like, I couldn't live there because I was too heartbroken to live with my egg donor children. Like, no, if you're about to type that, throw your keyboard out the door because you do not deserve to be on the internet right now. It was all just like a really weird dynamic that didn't make sense, and it was because we weren't communicative. So I ended up moving across the country to my parents' house because I'm still homeless, still completely broke. After moving out, there was like a lot of tension. We didn't talk to each other for over a month, and I was really sad about it, but I didn't want to contact them. I didn't want to bother them because I knew, like, none of us said anything to each other, but like we all knew that we didn't like each other at that point. And like my biggest fear was like, oh my God, I just ruined like my best relationships. Like, they're my best friends. And it was because like I knew it was my fault. Like I knew it was because I wasn't communicative. I wasn't around enough. You know, I would help out with the girls. I would babysit. I would, you know, cook dinner for them almost every night. Like I wanted to make sure I felt like I was doing my duties to like earn my stay there, but it wasn't that sort of dynamic. And for me to make it that dynamic didn't make sense. Like they had even come to me and said like, we don't want you to feel like you're working here. Like you're not like the housemaid. Like we just want you to be comfortable living here. In the middle of all this, after that talk that me and Erik and Adam had about like being more comfortable with each other, I ended up losing a competition that meant I didn't get $5,000, which I thought could like help me pay for food, because I literally was always swiping my credit card and wondering when I'm gonna get declined just to get groceries. So I was in the middle of the 6 weeks of staying there, then that happened, and it just made me even more depressed and upset with myself. So even though we had like this good talk, it didn't really solve anything because I just fell into a deeper hole that they couldn't get me out of, and it wasn't their fault at all. So we didn't talk at all for like 5 weeks or something after I moved out. Adam hated me. Adam hated me, and I knew he hated me. But then I ended up reaching out to them with like my really heartfelt message and my apology, because I knew that I was the issue in the situation. Like all of us had communication issues, but I definitely was not being me, and I knew that, and they knew that, and they were like, who the heck is this person living with us? She's crazy. Yeah, so I reached out and I made sure that they knew my side of the story and like why everything was happening, and that I was sorry for all of it. Erik is always like very understanding and really amazing. Erik right away was just like, I understand, like, and like we talked and we had like a good conversation. And Adam is like, okay, finally I have my bestie back, and I'm like, yay, because like it would be a real shame if our relationship went to crap, and not just for me and Erik and Adam, because we are such good friends and have so much fun, but it would be a real shame if the girls didn't get to know me in the future, having been such a big part of how they came to be. But I mean, that's Erik and Adam's choice. So if they still in like 2 years decide, you know, we don't want you to be a part of this, like we don't want the girls to know you, that's fine. Like that's what I signed the contracts for when I donated my eggs. So I love them so much, and I still am so grateful for everything they've done. That's my side of the story. We're all friends again. Everything's all good. But yeah, it was a lot of drama and a lot of me crying. And I'm not like crying now. This is just my voice. Like everyone keeps asking me why I always sound like I'm crying. I'm like, I just woke up. This is what I sound like. Deal with it. Also, if you are interested in nails and nail art, you should follow nailknowhow.com and nail.knowhow on Instagram. All the links are in the description, because that's my new business and I'm finally starting to launch it. Thank you so much, and